Alright, welcome back to Super Sentai Review episode 387. We're first reviewing there's a Kyuranger movie, and we'll also discuss the episodes 26 to 30. My original plan was to stop at 30, but kind of good thing I did it because basically we have a big humongous cliffhanger at the end of episode 30. I was also going to stop my review with episode 29, but shocking cliffhanger with that one. So, the movie itself is basically called Gase Indaver Strikes Back. Yeah, the thing with this one is that it's set between 25 and 30. 25 and 26, excuse me. Now, I watched this movie, quote-unquote movie. The movie itself is 33 minutes. You're like, wait a minute. 30 minutes. Why the heck is it 30 minutes? I don't know. For a feature-length movie, it feels as though a lot of it felt like very much last-minute stuff here. So here's what happens. We open up basically at this thing called the Genka Star that just randomly pops up near Earth. The Death Star that looks like a freaking Death Star. And your villains are Goth Endeavor, Ultimate Veteran, and Kyle Endeavor. Goth Endeavor, yeah, the villain movie is actually an acquaintance of the Commanders. And is he some past Sentai actor to come back for a villain? No. No, he's not. He's a comedian. Yep. How about Ultimo Endeavor? Nope. So that's basically what these movies. Usually some past villain comes back. Then there's Kyle Endeavor. By the way, all three of them are guys. No girls. What you see? Now, what about the guy who plays Kyle Endeavor? Nope. It appears as though these three guys just do not have any history, so like there's this battle in space with this humongous amount of these these drills, and we're gonna plan for the planetanium. Look up, they destroy a lot of them. And we briefly see Phoenix Soldier. By the way, the sub for the movie, for some reason, I think that, I'm not sure why this is, all the characters' Ranger names are from the wiki. Yes. This is how I've seen them, basically, for those names. So, here we go. So, basically, like, at one point, Lucky breaks through and just goes in, just tries to save the commanders on the station for some reason. Why is he there? Then he gets stabbed, and then he's shoved into space, and supposedly dies. So they figure a way to basically beat him. So they mention this whole thing of this Cerberus like creature that could potentially use to destroy the planet, and of course they find three pieces for it. One of them is on a planet covered in trees, and it appears as though this is part of a system called the Cerberus system, where the planets are partially destroyed. It's like, okay, interesting. It's like going on a brief scavenger hunt, find this stuff, battle the villains. Oh yeah, one of the villains, basically, Goth Invader. Yeah, where he reveals that he actually was part of the rebellion, but he was kicked out due to him wanting to use servers for evil things. And as shown in the flashback, the rebel base is Deca Base. Well, the Nega base core interiors. It's still using that core interior. I know that interior anyplace. That's the same interior they use in Kyuranger. It's the only Sentai I've seen that use that very interior. I don't know if from Kyuranger up until, I believe before the one came for this one was Zoologer. I don't know if this corridor was used there, but it just, every time I see this corridor, I think, oh, they're using Deca Base. Well, maybe an Ultra version of Deca Base is based in Billion. It's possible, but I don't really know. Despite the fact they did do a crossover with Kyuranger already this series. Yes. Excuse me, having three of its members, including They're capped to make a guest star appearance in episode 18, along with Gavin complete randomly, though. His thing was set by two space companies. Iris his first one already, which was really good. Second one discussed in the future. So, by the way, there's no thing with Don, like, and then, like, okay, so they basically battle with him at one point. They're basically, these guys are having the butts handed to them by the villains. And then by pure randomness, the commander randomly returns. And, oh, we have our savior save us. And then Kotaro appears. Oh, Kotaro, you're here. I'm like, wait a minute. Why wasn't he here from the beginning? That's a good question. Him along with Phoenix Soldier, he just randomly pop up in the movie. It's almost like they wrote this movie specifically for the original 10 actors. And then like, oh, we had to do a rewrite because this guy show up and then this guy later show up. It feels as though maybe this movie went through a few different rewrites. They just had to include these characters purely because they pop up in the show. And of course, the villains all destroyed. And by the way, the service forms a movie-only exclusive mecha that, unlike other mecha I've seen, this one does not return in the show. Nope, it does not. And you finish watching the movie like, wow, that was completely pointless. And they celebrate, oh, they saved the Earth. Not really, so dude, check them out of there. So it's kind of like, what was the point of this character? So what was the point of this movie? I mean, it's got good suspense, like the Cerberus sword. It felt as though the villain's plot was rushed. Yeah. And the fact that, well, we have a rewriting doing here, it's just bizarre to say the least. For a movie, it's not really a movie. It's not even 40 minutes. It's like a little over half hour. Like, it's a short movie, yet they call it a movie. Well, then, of course, basically 26 begins the change direction of the series. Well, for a little bit. It begins a story arc that it's going to wrap up really soon. So, basically, the Heir to Shogun show up. The female Shogun, who, I should point out though, Simon Bennett deemed this character's appearance to be inappropriate and too bussy for Power Rangers. Yes, even though that by the way her chest looks in the suit, it's very similar to Rita Repulsa, who had the same exact style of basically chest gear. Why? Because it's more pointy? Is that why you think it's inappropriate? Or the fact that she's got a freaking partial dinosaur attached to her skirt? Like, where is the appropriateness here? I don't see anything. Is this outfit too bussy? No, not really. Simon Bennett basically is full of bullcrap because he just doesn't want to adapt this freaking thing properly. Anyways, I can rant about Simon Bennett. It's like him saying stuff about some stuff really like he claimed this of why this one thing full adaptation. Like, he thought that the character's backstory is too complicated. No, they're not. Two characters' parents too bussy. And, like, he just chose not to bring in the frickin' suits. Despite the fact these actually are really cool looking suits. Yes. I know I keep reading about Simon Bennett. It just, every time I read something about him, it's like, wow. Did you actually watch this show? Because here's the thing. I am in this video 30 episodes into this series. 30 episodes. And this has been a blast watching the series. Because I've had so much fun watching it. This next movie, which is okay. But I love all the characters. Everything is built up really well. There's a mystery surrounding the villain, which I think is really cool. I like the fact that he was actually somebody that was fought in the past one in the Rangers. I like that so far. And it's just really good. And if anybody watches after watch Cosmic Fury, you're like, why didn't this get full adaptation? Like, the story itself was really good. You can do the same with the RPM, where it's set in alternate universe. You don't have to basically use the Mad Max stuff they use for RPM. Like, you can just use basically, this is alternate timeline. And that this evil empire conquered the universe, and you can use various stuff But no, you decided to do what you do with Cosmic Fury by having it be 10 episodes and kind of rush an adaptation. And people thought Jonathan Zacher was rushed to do stuff. I would say Simon Bennett was basically worse because he loosely adapted the season for 10 episodes. 10. And that was with a Netflix budget. Yes, a budget could easily see like a full season. Nope, we had to do 10 frickin' episodes. And all being about 25 minutes instead of being like, oh, I don't know, an hour? You could have done that. Nope, you couldn't do that. Simon Bennett would be a complete idiot when it comes to that. And also the fact that currently Hasbro has no plans to do any more Power Ranger stuff, which leaves up in the air exactly what in the world that could be done. Power Rangers. Me personally, I would love to see another season. The only 2 seasons I could possibly get adaptation, well, it's still Kyuranger. That one people have probably wanted to see for a long time, especially since it's train-based season, and Simon Bennett has claimed, oh, kids not in the trains. And I've seen the Zord transformation, not one, like, oh, it's too evocative. Like, you could speed it up, but you could darken some spots. I mean, you could slightly alter the footage while basically angry Toei over it. It's not that freaking hard to do. But this is a fan base. This is me as a fan basically just doing armchair quarterbacking. It's a popular term. I could rant basically. I can do a whole rant video on for one of these episodes about Simon Bennett's idiotic decisions he did with Power Rangers. Yes, he did a good job with it. I think Beast Morphers, in my opinion, was actually real. I enjoyed Beast Morphers. I thought it was a really good show. Would I say it's better than Go Busters? I would say slightly, not by much. I think Evox definitely is a much better villain than, let's say, Nemesis than Messiah, because Messiah was barely seen. And I would say that Blaze, I do agree with him about he's not that interesting of a henchman. I would say Inter is more interesting. Yeah, I find him more cool than Blaze was. And Blaze was basically a henchman. Inter was more like the main antagonist because, well, they killed the main villain early on in the series, but that was interesting. But let's get back to this one. So watching this episode, I'm like, wow, yes, they did have this plot thread for the very first episode of Cosmic Fury. I repeat, episode 1. So, Nega wants to basically get some emotions in him. So, then for some reason, one of the Vice Shokens say, oh, let's unlock all those basically emotions. And then he starts emoting. And then he gets consumed by black darkness and becomes evil. Or he's now a Dark Ranger. Having this odd metaphor with his scarf and the cape and the eye in his freaking chest. Yes. And you're thinking, did they have this for Cosmic Fury? Oh, heck yes. Except that took up basically 10 episodes. This started in episode 26. And by the way, nothing to do with freaking dinosaurs this one. Nope. That was all made up for Cosmic Fury. I enjoyed some stuff for Cosmic Fury, but I would say some of the stuff basically was kind of rushed for that one. Yeah. But back to the show. So, he becomes evil, and we reveal kind of basically of why Balance is so attached to him. The fact that he's the one who kind of took him from his home planet. The fact he used him for emotion. He can't partially that, but but the whole thing of him basically wanting to experience emotions, that was totally true. And then by pure randomness, someone from his species shows up who looks exactly like him. Yes. And according to this person, who is apparently talks like a woman, like could be the same actor as when I played Nega. We're like, oh, we all had the same exact form. We had a good reason for purging our emotions. I'm like, okay, he's curious about emotions. Basically, what the writers of this series did was make this species basically Sentai's equivalent to the Vulcans from Star Trek. You know, people with no emotion at all. It's like they don't feel anything at all. There's some emotion they have, but it's like, nah, let's make them basically completely emotionless, make them completely robots. At least Nega basically is an interesting character. So basically, he spends a lot of time battling Balance. He ends up stabbing him in the leg. By the way, he's a freaking robot and he gets stabbed in the leg. Yes. So then, of course, reveals the team, oh crap, basically he's turned evil. And the woman who kind of shows up, I don't know if she shows up again after this. So then, of course, basically they have the stuff set up for time travel. Let's go back in time over 300 years to see the end of Don Emerge from the past. But Balance, Lucky, Hemi, Gore, and Katu all send the president to deal with Nega Ray. Like, okay. And they have another battle with him. And like, oh, cause some pain? It didn't work. And you think, wait a minute. They do something and they suppose that it supposedly cures them, but it doesn't work. Yes, this is also adapted for Cosmic Fury as well. Except that this was a different thing they did to cure him. Yes, because it's a very similar plot thread. Where like, oh, the whole conversion being evil, like, was a reused plot thread from Dino Fury. They were used for Cosmic Fury. And it's similar to here, but they don't try to freaking murder him. And they don't try to kill Ollie in that one. And that one, they had to basically first destroy his freaking dinosaur statue. And that was big plot. Like, they even tried to use the same cure thing that didn't work either. So, of course, they proceed to leave. Meanwhile, the Lucky gets a SOS from the Orion, and it's crashed on Earth. Well, so Lucky finds the time travel globe, and goes back in time to figure out what the heck happened. So they explain what happened. So they have when people say the ship are just the commander, the Phoenix Soldier, Stinger, Raptor. I'm trying to think who else stayed on board. I think it was Spada. I think that was it. Yes. And I was thinking they get stowaways and they end up near where a dinosaur is. Yes, a dinosaur. What did you think? Ooh, is that a tease for a soldier? But that comes 2 years after this, believe it or not. Yes. I'm not joking about that. This adaptation for Dino Fury comes 2 years after the show aired. Yeah. So, and of course, they want the fact. Then it turns out, nope, they don't want the fact. They want to basically murder them. So they have a brief battle outside, unmorphed, because guys like, nah, we don't need. They're basically very weak. We don't need them. And then of course, Rasuda basically morphs anyways, destroys them. It's like, yeah, this is like the. And of course, the funny thing, all Clement's basically who who are already there, which is so funny. So they beat him, and of course they arrive in the past. And they do see the final battle where Downmar was supposedly definitely killed. But then the planet exploded. Yes. They got away, and of course they have another SOS. And then we reveal a little later what happened. Don Emerge survived being sliced in half. How the heck he survived? Not explained here. So he's one who caused attack on them. Orion shows up. This, of course, is after he had sealed the Phoenix Soldier on the Argo. And, of course, when he sees him, it's like, oh, you're here. I guess my mission was successful. So that portion of history was basically kept intact, him sealing him on the Orion. Which, of course, when he came out, basically he was covered in freaking hair, except for his face. I'm like, okay, so you have his arms grow hair, his chest, his back, his head, but not his face. I don't think it works that way, where you can't grow a full freaking beard. I thought that was so bizarre. The fact you can grow a freaking beard, look like a freaking caveman crawling out of that damn thing. So, then Lucky travels to the past, and of course works everybody to battle the surviving Don Emerge. And of course, by the way, things don't reveal. Oh yeah, the Vice Shogun's like all look different. Yeah, that proved to be correct when he sees in the past. And of course, they get defeated here. Dahmer shows supposedly his true form. Basically, it's him taking off his cloak reveal. Apparently, it's like a brain monster. And then it's revealed that, oh, Orion is related to Lucky, being a distant relative because Orion is from the Orion system and Leo is from the Leo system. Oh yeah, and it's also that Leo is half Orion, half Leo, which means he can use both of the powers. So he becomes this white suited Kyuranger with powers of all the Kyurangers and proceeds to destroy Don Amarug. Like, okay, mission successful, so they proceed to go back to the present, and Don Amarug is still in charge. You're thinking, how the heck he survived? He blew up. There was nothing of his freaking body. And of course, Nega Ray is still evil. Hame basically is very happy to see them all. And, well, back to business as usual. But basically, my plan was originally to stop at 30 and take a break there. But because there's a few loose ends. But also, before they went back to the present, Orion dies, so he does not get a chance to tell Eris the legend of the Kyurangers. So the commander proceeds to say in the past to basically fill the job. By the way, also when they first meet Orion, like the globes he has, which are the same globes they use to find the Argo in present day, we actually see the Death Worm actually absorbing one of them, which basically like is like, oh, that's perfectly fine. That was shown in present day. We're gonna find it and we're gonna deal with it then. And during the course of the battle, Orion dies, so the commander saves him in the past to fill his role. Champ stayed past too because he's curious about his past too. So it's just, well, if those two, we have the Phoenix Soldier, Lucky, Spada, Raptor, and Singer, basically 5, go back to the present, and that's what we see in the future. See there. So you have set up basically for the next episodes. Well, a few anyways. But great episodes overall, and I can't wait to discuss basically the last streaming discuss before I take my break from the series. Yes, I'm going to break with episode 33. And I'm thinking, like, based on what I've read the synopsis of these episodes, I'm like, yeah, probably a good idea to take a break at 33, because I think that's a perfect place to take a break, because 34 begins a brand new story arc with that one. A very interesting story arc, basically. It sounds interesting, but I'm going to wait till I get back from my break to discuss that. Oh, in case you're curious, though, what'll be my first anime I'll discuss on my break? Well, it's going to be Seven Nights Apocalypse. Well, the Seven Deadly Sins sequel. I'm going to discuss that first. As what else? Don't know yet. But you'll find out soon. But after my next 2 episodes of review for that one, I'm going to go straight to do Fair 20 Years Quest. Okay? Next video. Bye.